Greetings, dear friends. Today, according to our tradition, we continue our broadcasts and talk about the creative society. Uh, and Many people talk about it in more than 180 countries. To realize this, we communicate through the rule of six handshakes and travel from continent to continent. And today, with us, Julia. She is from Iceland. Yes, greetings. Thank you very much for inviting. I am ready to share the information about Iceland with you. And also, I'd like to introduce my co-host. She's Alona. Greetings. Yeah, very beautiful beginning. And you have shown only very little part of our beautiful country. Yes, Julia, maybe you will tell us more about Iceland. What do you like about this country? Yes, of course. I have been living in this country since 2008, more than 12 years. I love this country very much. This adaptation was very quick here. Yeah, and it took me some time to learn Icelandic. It's one of the most difficult languages, but it is quite interesting. And the only thing that was difficult in the beginning, it was the language, and the rest was very simple, positive. And I offer you, if you have a wish and desire to visit this country, there is not a single person who has visited it and who was disappointed. It fulfills all the anticipations and expectations. I guarantee that the person who will visit this country will not regret. Yes, we know a lot of information about this country. It's a small country, but it's a special, unique, a lot of combination here. Here, for example, ice and fire, a lot of landscapes, natural sightseeings. And I would like to tell that today in our broadcast we have a social survey. All viewers can go to the link and answer the question what people know about Iceland, and in the end we will show this result, and we will find out what we know about Iceland, and during this broadcast we will also know something new. Thanks to uh, thanks to this movement, the Iceland became even more popular. That is why volcano stopped all the flights, but it made a good advertisement for our country, and it became more popular. And we had 300,000 tourists. And as I understand, a lot of people know about this country and where it is situated, thanks to this volcano. And what do you mostly like about this country, speaking about people's relationships, something special in local people? Or can you share? You know, as for me, they are not very different from us, Slovenian countries. In general, it took me no time to adapt. There were no cultural differences, mentality, as people say, different mentalities. I can say that I understand them very well, and we are very much alike. The only thing that is special about Icelandic people, a person is in the center of everything, and everybody thinks about himself. Uh, I think for me it's more a positive feature that they don't have a special etiquette that I must do something. In comparison, That is a special feature, and if a person does not want to do it, for example, in comparison with us, if we know that it's polite to come, for example, lunch, lunchtime in a cafe somewhere, a person, if a person if a person doesn't want, I can have another seat, and my hostess will not make me eat something. And in our culture, we have to eat something in order to communicate. And in Iceland, if I want to sit by myself, I don't have to sit with everybody. It doesn't mean anything special. And they sometimes in their own world, and they may not greet other people, but it doesn't mean that they are unfriendly. It means that they're just in themselves and their thoughts, and it doesn't mean that they are impolite, that they have some problems with you. Everybody just lives in their own world. They are quite straightforward. They do not try to say something but mean a different thing. They don't try to be polite. They don't have such a feature. They understand that if a person has a date with an Icelandic guy, yeah, I'm telling about in general, people are different, but mainly. For example, in this cafe, when you come, I had such an experience. I know that in Iceland, there is the girl. It's normal if a girl pays for herself. Of course, if a guy invites you, that mostly he should pay. And I politely said that I will pay for myself, and he agreed. And he just agreed, and it was not something special. I didn't mean anything special about it, and I didn't have to explain myself or something. If I say that I will pay, he just agrees with it. It's just like straightforwardness, the openness, and it makes our communication simpler. And the only feature that took to adapt, that is a special feature that took me, that I should speak openly and straightforwardly. I should learn to do this.
Thank you very much. It seems like the people in Iceland are kind of free and respect other person. Yes, it's very free, non-stereotypical society. They don't like stereotypes. And I actually got rid of numerous stereotypes while living in Iceland. Like, for example, I have such like patterns that a man should do something first, but I was asked why, because nobody owes anything to anyone. Can you give any examples of mutual assistance when people come and give your helping hand at the moment when it's needed? Maybe they are ready to listen to your story, help you with something. Do you have any examples like that which you have encountered by living in Iceland? I'm trying to recall some specific example, but I don't remember. But in general, I can say yes. You know, I don't. I even think that I cannot recall specific examples because in this country, anytime you need any assistance, any help, there are social programs which are quite well arranged. And of course, if it's friendly relationships, they always help each other and they communicate, they go to some clubs. But if it goes about some social, financial assistance or psychological help, the social services in Iceland are very good and they are working quite efficiently because globally I do not remember there was such a problem when I wanted to go to my friend and there were some problems with the friend when he came to this country, but social service helped him. But basically, I cannot imagine a situation in Iceland when you need anything and you don't get help, because these people are very, understandable and understanding, and they are ready to help. And of course, if, for example, you have psychological problems, mostly psychological services available and function in countries where they're kind of well off. But here in our country, also the level of life is quite high, and of course they provide such services, but people are very open and ready to help. Great. Also, we know that you are a registered guide in Iceland and you conduct tours, know a lot of things, very interesting sightseeing places, and you talk about it to your tourists. You share your love for this country with everyone who comes to Iceland. So, we would like to know from you regarding the sightseeing places. What are the best, the closest for you? I guess you like everything, but our designers have prepared several collages, and it would be very interesting for you to comment on these images so that our viewers know what is shown on the screen. Please, technical support, could you bring the collage onto the screen? I can hardly see. It's difficult to see. Will it be on the screen later? In order to make it on the screen, you have to scroll your smartphone and enlarge the mainstream picture. A little bit far, but I can see. You can do 2 clicks. Yeah, now I see it. So here it's, quite popular classical tourist attractions. Classical because uh, like a church, the famous church. We once were laughing that when there was this volcano eruption, and many reporters on the news, they couldn't name this church because the name is quite difficult. Uh, they started to call it a little bit in simplified manner because it's a difficult Icelandic name. Why I could recall this case? Because it's quite a complex name with consisting of 3 logical words. But this church, I think it's the most difficult Icelandic word. I've hardly learned to pronounce it, but it is really famous church, and it is really famous attraction. It is located in Reykjavik, the capital city, and this church can be like it's a sign place, because basically you can see this building, this church, from any place in Reykjavik. This ship is always called the Viking ship, but basically it's not the ship of Vikings, but it's the solar wanderer, whatever it is called. But this solar wanderer, it's like a dream for it's like a ship of dream for the god of the sun. It's like about, the dream. There is an implication that further you go, there are some other countries, some other discoveries, and many interesting things. Because this is an isolated island, and Iceland is an isolated island, and Icelandic people are always interested in what is located somewhere far from them. This ship symbolizes a hope for new life and for new discoveries. But some people, most people, think that it's just a Viking ship. There are some interesting figures or figurines, like a human with his arms stretched above. It's like a person who's open to new horizons, new discoveries, traveling to new countries. This is the Reykjavik city. Then there is another little city, and the Ashes mountain, which we can see on the in the picture. And this is done for hiking, mountain hiking. And it takes about 1 hour to go up this mountain to a very famous stony place. And very, very nice, wonderful views over Reykjavik and from that mountain if you send it. It is very beautiful and it is for free. Then below we can see these little hobbit houses with green roofs. It looks like the horse museum, the school horse museum. It's a nice museum. And there you can see how ancestors of Icelandic people live. These are quite small houses, but basically there is such information that people used to be smaller in size, their bodies used to be smaller, so the houses were smaller. And the last picture on the right below, it is the city in the southern shore of the Iceland. And there is this big rock with rocks in the sea. These rocks are called the fingers or the troll's fingers or troll's arm, troll's hand. In this little city, there is black sand beach. Very nice, very beautiful. And the 40 degrees video was filmed in this place because it is really picturesque. Great. We also have another collage. Technical support will now bring it on the screen. They will also have several attractions here. Now we have natural attractions. It's nature, yes. Highlands, it's a part with higher mountains in the Iceland. There are crater lakes, and this area is located in the east part of the island. Then on the right there is this waterfalls. It's not far from the place where I live, and it's a very, very nice picture, very nice view. And if you go there, you can even approach these waterfalls, go up or go up the hill and see it from above, which is very beautiful place and beautiful location. These are geysers in the left. When you follow in the Golden Ring in Iceland, you go pass by these geysers, and you see when you see this cave, these are close to the beaches with the black sand, and what you see on the right below is the ice lagoon. These are glaciers never. These are the places which should be visited because this highland. For example, I rent a car to go there. Everything else can be visited via public or normal transportation means.
And it's a real pleasure, real happiness, and a real part that you can see there. As you see, it's almost the same pretty much as you see on these photos. There are quite many sightseeings in one place, so you don't have to move a lot from one place to another. On these two photos, you have seen the southern part of this country that you can see there. Yeah. Have you been to Iceland? No, we haven't. But our friend was, as you remember, we have discussed it. Yes, she mentioned very warm things about it. She was amazed, impressed that you don't have to lock the houses when just outside of Reykjavik, far from the city. There are no locks, so you come to other people without any invitations. It's just a natural thing that somebody will come to another person to have a pleasant conversation. And more local people organize always something every weekend. And it's if there is especially good weather, nobody is at home. And when there was this coronavirus, the Iceland, I would say, yes, there were many cases. And as I am a guide, I didn't travel so much around the Iceland during this quarantine, this coronavirus quarantine. Local people, local people traveled around a lot in this country. There are a lot of places, and nobody met anybody. The distances to meters was not difficult to preserve. Yeah. Local tourism was developed. Local people are very interested to know the places where they live. Before, Icelandic people asked me, they asked me where it was when they saw photos from my profile. But now, as I see, for many Icelandic people, it was a good way of rest. They saw many interesting places in their country, and I see that they travel a lot nowadays, and they know their country better. They go to places which they wouldn't go before. So, and now I find out more and more about this country, and Icelandic people started to travel around more and more. And the touristic business outside of Reykjavik is on an appropriate level now, because Icelandic people book hotels and they try to support the tourism, and our country authorities also support our motivation to travel around, and they really support us and support tourist business. Thank you so much for this story, for this information. It was very interesting to know about Iceland. And now we go to another part of our program, and we would like to ask, how do you see creative society where every person can live happily and comfortably? And maybe you will share your understanding of how you see medicine and education in the creative society. You know, you know, generally speaking, in our country, uh, I would say that this creative society in Iceland is exists already. That is because in general, creativity means to develop in a better side, in a positive side. And Icelandic society is creative. As for medicine and education, education should be affordable, as in Iceland. Generally speaking, here, those who want to study, it is not difficult at all. The price is acceptable. Those who want to study, they can. And for me, the education should be affordable, if a person wants to study. And the healthcare, it also should be affordable. We have the system of insurance, and the part of these services is covered by the government. But by the way, there is an example. Several years ago, Icelandic people drew attention to the fact that children started to come to a dentist with a problem, and they drew attention to this problem. Icelandic people started to talk about it, and now the government made a decision to that children under 18 they will get these services of a dentist free of charge, and children started to visit doctors. And it's more like a preventive measures that they have nowadays. And now we don't have this problem anymore. And as for me, healthcare should be appropriate, as in Iceland. So the government listens to people, and people can raise a question that disturbs them, and it will be considered. Yes, exactly. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Maybe because there are not so many and they're quite a mobile society that it is possible to deal with many things at a time. It's not exactly about it, but I know what kind of people they are. They are quite serious about if we have to discuss any question, they treat it quite seriously. Thank you so much. Thank you. And as for working conditions, maybe you have your understanding how working conditions should look like for benefit of people in the society where a person will not worry that he doesn't have enough money to buy some food, and he will worry about his family and children, maybe social support, how it works in, how does it work in Iceland, working conditions to make it overall in all countries in the globe, for people to live comfortably, and they will not worry that we'll have some basic needs, basic worries. As for basic needs, I faced this problem myself nowadays in this point when we have this coronavirus, or as I work in the sphere of tourism. That is why when tourists stopped coming, and I was worried how I will survive, and the government made such a decision that there is social support, but it is of course not a utopia that Icelandic government helps everybody, but it is organized in an appropriate way here. There are some labor groups, and they help financially. If you lost your job, you don't have to worry a lot because you have the right to go to the labor community to get some benefit because of unemployment, social support, as I understand this service, and you will get, according to this particular example, you will get, I don't quite remember how much. I will not name the sum, but 80% of your salary for the first, you will get this help for the first 3 months, and then the society will want to make you work, and in the next month you will get a little bit less, and then less again, and the maximum period that you can get this support is 3 years. There are particular deadlines that you get this unemployment help, but if you need this help, you know that you will be supported. That is why the government helps, supports, and if the situation is unusual and it special and does not correspond to standard laws, you go to a special service, and the officer will help to help you this question. And as I deal with also translations, so that is why I go to social services quite often, and I got a lot of information from these translations. There are many examples. Yes, and I can say that social services help a lot, and they even provide you, or maybe some people who live in Iceland does not know about it, But for example, if you don't know language, the state gives you a translator free of charge. And when I came, I didn't know about it. That is why it was very good motivation for me to know about to learn this language.
It's very interesting and such a good example that, in creative society, such points will be implemented at the local level. Like there will be a society of happy people who will do what they like, what they enjoy, and they will be socially supported. What is your opinion? How important is it to talk on these topics, such as creative society, and know the opinion of people from various countries, various continents? In your opinion, is it really important to discuss? I think it is very important because, living in Iceland, I can also share this information, for example, with other people. And it is important because there are many certain little points which are not really difficult to resolve for the society. These points could probably help other, and they actually don't cost anything. That's why it's very important to share information, first of all. Another point is that I already talked when I talked to Alona before the broadcast. I mentioned that I was impressed, really impressed, in orphanages in Iceland. This is really amazing, because if a child does not have parents, basically there are no orphanages as such as in other countries, because often children, they don't have parents, they live with other families, they go to adopted families, foster families. And it was kind of, amazing for me that there are no orphanage houses as such in Iceland, and all children are taken care of. Icelandic people really love taking care of everything. I don't know the exact statistics, but it's about there are about 2.5 kids, adopted kids per family in Iceland. Yeah, it's a wonderful example that there are no orphanages in Iceland, and all people are ours. And we can look at this globally. Around the world, we have a tremendous number of kids, and actually, we have one big family all over the planet, and there are no strangers. We are all one. That's why it's indeed really important and really interesting. Yes, there are no cases in our country that a kid doesn't want to go to school because, you know, of course, like for example, a child doesn't want to do anything, and he has arguments with his parents. No, in this country, parents ask their children their opinion. They ask what kids want, what they prefer, and they never break or violate the will of a child. And nobody forces him to do anything. They really, Icelandic people really respect personalities, no matter whether it's a little kid or grown up. They try to listen and respect everyone's opinion. That's true. At the international level, as far as I remember, there is kind of a logo, Icelandic logo, that we are all equal. And there is no one above us. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Especially nowadays, you know, if there are some people with kind of radical opinions, they are not supported actually, because the Icelandic society is civilized and quite special, and I would say even enlightened in those kind of issues. So, such radical, any radical opinions or expressions will not be supported in Iceland. For example, I worked with a man it was an elderly man with conservative views, and and there was a guy working in this company who was totally black skinned, but and they talked in English. They had lunch, and this elder man kind of joked in Icelandic language to my acquaintance. He wanted to kind of a joke, make fun of this black skinned guy. And this Icelandic friend of mine, he didn't support this man and just asked him kindly not to joke like that. So the younger generation, they are more like conscious in these issues, and they those who have conservative views, they try to revise them because it's
Да, такой
just not
момент важный,
topical right now.
что, ну,
Yeah, it's a very important point that
новое поколение, оно же растет и берет
the new
пример, да,
generation
с
is
родителей, с
growing and
учителей,
following the
всех, ну, с
example of
окружения. То
parents,
есть
of
насколько это
teachers,
важно
of those people who are around. So
показывать,
it's
да,
very
правильные
important
примеры,
to
самому,
show the
то
right
есть меняться,
examples
самому
and
быть
to
человеком,
change on
и
your
да,
own
и
to
новое
be a real
поколение будет
human.
брать с этого
And
пример и,
this
соответственно,
way,
тоже
new
применять
generations will follow
и
such example,
развиваться. Мгм.
and the society will be more adequately developed. Yes, I
А
like it
скажите,
here in
пожалуйста,
Iceland, all these principles.
как каждый из нас
And could you
сейчас вот в
please
своем
tell
виде,
us
прямо
how
сегодня,
every
прямо
one of
сейчас,
us, like
вот что
right
может
now,
сделать
today
каждый
and now,
человек, чтобы
what can we
это
do, every person
созидательное
can do
общество, да,
in
стало
order for
реальностью
this
и
creative
чтобы уже
society to
жить
become a
как-то по-новому?
reality and so that we already live in such a society? What should we actually do? I think it's a classical approach to treat all people and everyone you know the way they want to be treated. If you respect and treat properly another person, your neighbor, your close person, this I think if
То есть
everyone
вот
would
это
act like
действие
this
внутреннее,
would be
да, то есть
enough, at least for the
самому.
beginning. So you mean this inner action? Yes. You know, Iceland, in Iceland, they're quite egoistic, but it's kind of good because people understand that other people also want something and they are the same. It's, I would call it healthy egoism. So they kind of respect the needs of another person. Yes. Yeah, they respect what another person wants. Yeah, that's right. As I said, I can guarantee you that in Iceland, I don't know, such inconvenient moments, you always in communication or whatever, you always feel yourself convenient. It's a cordial country because this is a kind of, you know, a contradiction in this country because it's a cold climate, but very warm, and they are so kind. These people are not severe like their climate. Somebody says that Icelandic people look severe, but when they start talking, they are kind of get this their faces light up, and they are so kind, they are so vivid, they're very sincere in helping others. Although Icelandic language sounds like a little bit, basically there is nothing negative in it. We had a little social surveys in the beginning of our broadcast and asked our viewers what they know about Iceland. And I would kindly ask our technical support to show the results on the screen so that we all discuss what people know about Iceland. Could you please comment? Here we can see geysers, volcanoes, ices, glaciers, nature. Of course, nature in Iceland is amazing. And how do you call it? This main company, the Ministry of Tourism, so to say. They, according to any statistics, the nature is the greatest attraction in Iceland, even for tourists.
That is why welcome to
So,
Iceland.
welcome to Iceland. It is open country.
It is open to all people of European Union. Maybe soon we will have some tourists. In general, you should just know in the embassy what you need to get in order to get to Iceland. But Iceland is an open country. And I also we would like to ask you how it sounds in Icelandic. How I support creative society. Just 1 second. I support. Just a second. I don't quite remember the word creative in Icelandic.
Skapandi samfélag. Ég styðja skapandi samfélag. Ég styð skapandi samfélag. Да.
Yeah. Cool.
Очень красиво, кстати.
Very beautiful. It sounds very beautifully.
Я поддерживаю. Скапandi samfélag.
It means creative society. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, we also ask opinion of many people from all around the globe how they see creative society. In practice, we realize the theory of 6 handshakes. Tell us, Julia, do you have any person who you would like to meet in the future, in our future broadcasts? It can be anybody, your friend, acquaintances, just people who you know, but people you saw on TV, who you would like to communicate with on the topic of the creative society. Yes, the topic is creative society. How other people envision creative society, to know their opinion. I don't know. This is a person who you could invite. A star. Yeah, maybe you would like to participate and to make a survey with this person. It can be your acquaintance, and it would be interesting to know. Maybe some local people could participate. We found out a lot, and we found out that they are open and friendly. Maybe they will share how they see creative society and talk about Iceland, the society where everybody can be happy. Yeah, you know, my friend, her name is also Julia. She also lives in Iceland. Yes. Maybe I would like to know her opinion, because I don't know how many years she has been living here. I would like to know her opinion, because it is my opinion, and it's interesting to know how she sees it. Maybe she sees it in another way. So yes, Julia. That's great. So we will invite Julia. Thank you so much. And I would like to know that all the viewers who are watching us now, each can participate in the project Creative Society and talk and answer how people see this Creative Society. And just go to site latvianize.com, click the button. Click the button, join us. Our technical support will show this site, and we would like to know the opinion of each person on this planet. And thanks to this theory of 6 handshakes that we realize in practice, thanks to internet technologies that allows us to communicate with people all around the globe. Yes, we would like to communicate with them, with you. We invite you. Yes, it was very interesting to communicate with you today. And before our broadcast that we communicated with, you are so positive, so light. It's really great. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed participation in this project. Thank you so much. But we would like to ask our technical support for people how they can join our project. They can go to allatruunites.com site.
Вот сайт,
There is our site.
и можно нажать
We can click the
кнопочку
button Join
присоединиться, а
Us,
также можно выбрать
and
свой
also
язык.
you can choose your language,
Язык, на котором
the language that you speak.
Есть также исландский?
Is there Icelandic? Yes, I wanted to say that there is no such a language yet. Volunteers translate into different languages. Maybe a new language will appear. So I understand your hint. Yeah.
Да.
Юлечка, спасибо вам большое, что
Julia,
вы
thank you
сегодня
so
были с
much
нами,
that
что
you were with us
поделились
today, that you
частичкой себя,
shared
частичкой своего
yourself,
света,
your
вот этой
light with
информации об
us, the
Исландии. Это очень
information about
интересно.
Iceland. It
Прекрасная
was very
страна,
interesting,
и
beautiful,
да,
picturesque
спасибо вам за
Iceland.
то, что
Island.
Спасибо
Thank
вам
you so
большое, я
much.
же говорю, это
Thank
рассказы,
you.
картинки, это не
These
все. Вам нужно
pictures and just stories are not all. You really have to visit this country to see it in reality. Yes, we would like to come, and we will come. And there is a person who lives here, so join us, come to us. Thank you. It was very pleasant, very pleasant to see you. It would be great to make friends with all people all around the globe.
Спасибо и до встречи.
Thank you
Вам спасибо
and
большое.
see you soon.
Всего
Thank
хорошего.
you. All the
Спасибо.
best.
Да, пока.
Bye.